Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. So okay, I figured I'll just do more spooky stuff because it's my channel and I'll do whatever the hell I want. So yes, I'm going to be doing something horror related because as I said, I'm on a multitude of different times already by this point. As far as I'm concerned, Halloween is a year-round thing, so I don't give a shit if it's summer. It's Halloween to me. Go to hell. God. Anyway, I'm going to go to this Christian site, which I haven't been to this site in a good while, so I just thought, yeah, let's revisit it because, yeah, just brain rot. This entire thing is just brain rot, just so bad. And I never ever done I guess a video discussing a good review on here. It's all terrible. Anyway, so it's for Megan 2. Megan 2.0, whatever you call it, I guess, the sequel. Um, I actually enjoyed it, by the way. I already did a review for it, by the way. So I guess this individual, I just gave it a pretty decent rating though. So okay, that was that. But anyway, which seems kind of weird because it also says that it's extremely offensive. Like okay, well I find your review offensive, so take that. Anyway, so okay, this individual, yeah, is done by this guy right here, folks. This individual here. So there's that. All right, let's just get this over with because it's just a train wreck. And of course, this individual does a pretty rough summary of what had led to the second movie. But okay, right off the bat, he just caused the AI robot Megan like downright evil. That's a lie. I mean, okay, what she did was bad. Sure, yeah, what she had done was bad. But I wouldn't exactly say 100% evil. She had the right goal in mind. The robot character had the right goal in mind. She understood what morality is and whatnot. Her end goal was, of course, ultimately to protect the girl in the first movie. So again, saying she's flat out evil is misleading. It's a bit more nuanced than that. So what I'm trying to say is that this individual, of course, like typical Eternal thing in black and white, like people who are bad or evil or can't understand some concepts. Whatnot. How do you determine that? How do you determine that if someone's bad, they can't understand other concepts? Maybe certain movie characters know what they're doing is bad, and just will continue to go do it anyway. For this extent, Megan knew what she was doing was pretty extreme and went for it anyway because she was supposed to protect that little girl no matter what. But anyway, moreover, is what would happen in the first movie just leads up to the, of course, sequel and whatnot. Of course, the Ant character has been investigated because of what had occurred in the first film and all that jazz, of course. And everything seems to be pretty normal according to the article. But there was another motorized robot on the run, which is true because this other robot was built with the intent to help out the the military. That was kind of the idea here. So the ant was trying to live her life, and along with the niece, of course, and trying to discover what it means to be a mother and what it means to be a mom. Even though these two aren't exactly daughter mother really, I know she has to take up the role to be to help out the little kid who's now a little older, of course. It goes into that, of course, and how maybe like the younger generation is maybe being over reliant on their computers or TVs or whatever. And kind of the film does explore the idea that both extremes over how AI can be scary and how human control can be overdone. Well, and this article here is kind of just misses the point in some ways and whatnot. This article does not can't grasp the fact that it's trying to give again to give the nuance more nuance to anything really because again the film is not trying to say AI is completely bad, of course not. It's trying to explain that yes, it can be bad, and yes, people who are over controlling human beings can be bad too. So both ends of the spectrum can be bad, but maybe the film is trying to meet like somewhere in the middle is what I'm trying to say. The film itself is trying to meet somewhere in the middle when it comes to this kind of a thing. he's not trying to banish anything really at the end of the day. I mean, I know I'm being really vague in some ways, but I don't want to spoil it. But again, like the movie's doing a good summary anyway. Not really. Anyway, the reviewer goes on to say when an original is shown towards the end, this individual would be on his knees begging that Hollywood won't do a sequel. Well, yes, of course, if an original film is successful, yes, typically Hollywood just wants to make a bunch of sequels. Of course, it's like the most Hollywood thing you can do. So okay. Anyway, this individual goes on to say, after all, that as a general rule of thumb, sequels aren't usually as good as the original, which is true. Of course, that is true. I mean, there are exceptions to that. Yes, I mean this individual also goes on to say there's a few exceptions. Again, that's true. But anyway, this individual goes on to say, why ruin the legacy of a film by creating a sequel that most agree? Again, true. And yes, this individual will state that most sequels are just CB cash grabs. Again, true, but moving on. It's so rare to find a sequel that is just there to strengthen the appreciation of the franchise. Like, okay. In many instances, sequels try to reinvent themselves, and sometimes this works, and sometimes it really doesn't. Take, for example, the Terminator movies. For example, the first one was such an iconic film that really brought action and sci-fi together. Even okay, that's true, but also some horror elements. The first Terminator movie was also kind of horror related, at least horror adjacent anyway. Anyways, this individual was going to say is that in ways that films before couldn't really capture, and then Terminator in T2 and T3 could never hold up. I mean, okay, I disagree with that because I thought Terminator 2 was a better film. But yeah, but the Terminator 3 is a part of garbage as far as I'm concerned. It was bad. Anyway, this individual goes on to say that while the sequels add some context or maybe some character development, that kind of depends on what movie you're talking about, the main story arc in each Terminator becomes more and more complicated to the point where it was feeling that the initial plot and the reason behind it pretty much gets lost. I mean, yes, I would definitely agree on that. Yes, the Terminator movies pretty much got overly convoluted over the years with each installment. That I would definitely agree on that, but whatever. Anyway, this person says that Megan 2.0 does to an extent, to a degree, bring in some aspects and elements from the first film. I mean, yes, of course, there are still horror elements in the sequel, and that's true, but okay. This individual goes on to say that a female version of Chucky doll with not so good intentions running amok. Okay, that's kind of vague, but alright. What makes this sequel different than the first one? There are two things: Megan's role and the film's genre. I mean, it's more action oriented, sure, but anyway, Megan's role in this film is more of that of an anti-hero, and this is shown that halfway through the film, where Gemma, the ant character, instructs Megan to not kill anyone, even enemies, by simply knock them out. Of course, the Megan's very nature is to protect those in her circle. Not entirely, because again, she's supposed to protect that little girl, and that's about it. No matter what the cost is. Anyway, Megan, according to the article, begins to evolve. I guess she starts to want to feel like some sentient being, I suppose. Yeah, the movie did seem to give me a Detroit become human vibe kind of a thing. Like these characters become sentient, at least to some extent, because they become aware. Oh, feelings is a thing. Well, yada, that whole jazz and whatnot. Like, okay, which does kind of make it creepy for Megan, but okay. I mean, again, I'm not giving too specific here, but anyway, just yada yada yada. It goes into the whole bit where the offensive content. Again, the individual does not like the fact there's violence in a movie. I mean, dude, this is a PG-13 horror movie. I mean, it really pushed it. It really pushed it to be an R-rated movie. I'll give it that. It really trying to really on the edge of being R-rated. But yeah, it really pushed that PG-13 with its violence. But somehow this is too offensive. Like just the fact that it really pushed it. The film is not suitable for young adults, I guess, or anybody young the age of 13. Like, why would you send like an 8-year old to watch this? They're not gonna really comprehend what's going on. Yeah, but basically the individual keeps complaining about it's violent, it's violent, it's violent, 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 violent. It's violent, it's violent, it's violent, it's violent. This individual keeps ranting all that. Oh no, it is so violent. Like really? It's so violent. It's so gruesome. So bloody. So bloody. So gory. So violent. It's violent. It's violent. It's violent. It's too gruesome. It's gruesome. It's gruesome. It's violent. It's gruesome. Like, oh my. Anyway. And yes, of course, the individual also. Okay. There also complaints about the vulgar language, the swearing, and like again, yes, even the swearing will push the PG-13 rating, of course. But anyway, but yeah, this person complains about the language, like too much no words. Really? As you, if you're in a intense fight, of course you're gonna fucking swear. So what's the fucking problem? This is so goddamn stupid. Oh, and of course another problem apparently was the sexual content, and because these individuals says someone tells a female character how to quote unquote distract the guy, the female character is encouraged to look up, look up sexual gratification, and of course, even though this was intended as a joke, but okay. Then the whole bit where Megan says, "Hold on to your vaginas," which again was intended as a joke, but anyway, but that was too raunchy apparently. So then another individual apparently someone mentioned that it's time to procreate with the males. I'm like, okay, so what's the issue? Yeah, okay. I don't remember this ever happening, but okay, yes, technically when a man and a woman have sex, they make babies. Yeah, that's traditionally how it's done, but okay. Then apparently some other character makes a joke about size of a man's private part. I guess the part is referring to his dick. I guess I don't remember that happening, but anyway, there was another apparent thing, a line, there was a phrase, a yeast infection on a vagina is spoken. But again, when did this happen? Well, I don't remember this happening in the movie. But anyway, moving on from that, then apparently when Megan is on top of somebody, she states that, yeah, it feels weird to me too. Like, okay, I don't think that was meant to be sexual, but okay. But anyway, so when Megan, yeah, the person, okay, that scene was referring to that fact that Megan actually had to save a life. I always thought she was referring to the fact that she never saved a life before. So the fact that she actually had to save a life instead of kill one, that made her feel weird. I didn't think anything sexual about that, but okay. But anyway, some other character apparently mentioned that they are disturbed, but they also are slightly aroused. Like, okay, I just got. But anyway, the ant character does wear like outfits. It does show some cleavage, and then there's a male character that takes his shirt off and makes out with the ant character. They're also shirtless male characters. I mean, okay, I don't get what's going on here. When did this happen? And apparently, the ant character was naked from the shoulders up. Again, when did this happen? I don't get what's going on. So that complaint is too sexy, too sexy, too sexy. I don't. What's too sexy? What are you talking about? What's too sexy here? You see, yeah, I've seen this with Airforce, by the way. So either Airforce and I were suffering some kind of brain injury, or this individual is making it up. So again, I don't see what was too sexy in the movie. What was too sexy? What was too what? Are you talking about? I don't get it. So what's the plumbing? Yeah, and apparently there was drug references throughout the entire thing. There was not a supposed complaint. There was other drugs. Uh, a character was sedated. Some people were knocked out. one uh maybe one character maybe, and then there was another character that was knocked out because of some sleeping gas or something. I mean that in itself is not drugs, but okay. But anyway, so I don't anyway. But there were also characters seen drinking in a few scenes. I mean, yeah, there were characters using alcohol in a big event kind of thing, with kind of party kind of thing. Of course, it's gonna be not drugs, but somebody getting I guess drunk off their ass is expecting to have like a big party kind of thing, some kind of big event. So you get mad at the characters for having fun? Are you kidding? So I suppose another complaint where the villain character, the killer doll that everybody saw in the theaters, and when she becomes like extreme, again, excuse me if I'm being a little vague here, but I mean, yes, apparently there was a part where she becomes like extremely powerful, like really, really powerful. I guess the whole thing was that this one was it's kind of like a race against time, really, in some ways, because if the villain character becomes too powerful, then it's like, what do you do now? She'll be able to connect to multiple computers and whatnot, stuff like that. So if the character, I mean, the character becomes extremely strong, the killer robot lady, or the other one, I mean, she would say, like, I'm gonna feel like God. So this individual took offense to that, acting as if that this killer robot was trying to replace God. Are you kidding? So okay, and then there was another bit where Gemma, the ant, steals a core, and then a robot is shown in just their robot parts and a little hair. I mean, okay, I don't get the complaint here. Anyway, folks, this was a terrible take, a really really terrible take. Apparently, according to the review here, the main lesson of this movie, the statement is that everyone can change when given the opportunity. Again, not everybody is deserves a redemption arc. That might work for some characters, but it looks like this person wants every character, everyone to have a redemption arc. I mean, while it is true, maybe some people out there just need to get opportunity. Sure, that does happen, but they can't expect that to happen to everybody. Not everyone can be redeemed. Because for one, look at Adolf Hitler, Mao, or Joseph Stalin. People like this, or I mean, there's like a bunch of other people like who could be just as ruthless, if not more, like these dictators I just mentioned. Not everyone can be redeemed, but anyway, this adventure just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. It is everybody should be redeemed. Everybody is capable of being redeemed through Christianity, and that's not true. That isn't true at all. Not everybody needs to be Christian to be redeemed. All right, that's just a flat out lie. But anyway, I'm not really here to play semantics here when it comes to Christianity, really, at the end of the day. But even though this individual is trying to imply that everybody can be redeemed, that's an asinine idea to think. It's not life itself is not that simple. Okay, whether you want to accept that or not, life itself is not that simple. Not everyone can be redeemed. Not everyone can be redeemed. Not everyone should be redeemed. And that's not me being pessimistic or anything. That's just how it is. Not everyone can is capable of being redeemed. And there's some awful, awful people out in the world, like really terrible people out there. It's just unfortunate that they can't be. Look at Ted Bundy, the serial killer. Could he be redeemed? Absolutely not. Ugh. Just I don't know. Just I don't know. It just seems kind of weird. This was a bad take. This was a really, really bad take on the movie. And but anyway, I like the movie. Of course, he does have his sense of humor in some ways. Maybe it could be crude in some ways, of course. And this person states that this movie isn't suitable for viewing by children or teens. Like, no shit. Kids should not be watching this, and so teenagers should be not watching this. If you're like maybe 17, 18, I guess a little slide. But still, though, still, just I don't know. It just seems like really black and white. It's an oversimplistic review, not a waste and whatnot. All right, folks, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Just this was bad. This was really bad. Thanks for watching. See ya.